Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. We are at the end of the year and we're wrapping up our 2025 forecasts. So stay tuned for the 2026 astro clocks, which are going to be the basis for our upcoming monthly forecasts. Download your starter guide and be sure to link, share, and subscribe. Welcome to a new weekly reading. We are doing a line of 7 today. We are using the beautiful Tarot Lenormand deck. Let's go ahead and start with you, Aries. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aries, here is your line of 7. There is a very clear focus on people and relationships. We have both the woman and the man in the cards. And we have the letter earlier, which is lovely for communication. Now, we do wrap up the line with the clouds, which brings a bit of confusion, maybe a bit of tension, but the earlier cards are quite bright. So the bear, letter, and clover points to some important news and news that answers a wish. And with the woman at the top, she could be the person who sends you the news, or the news is about her, or perhaps it is an interchange that you have with this person. Now, the tower and man points to a long-term relationship or one from the past. The tower can also suggest something in relation to work or something that's more official. And with the clouds at the end, there are some doubts that come up. So I think the news is very exciting, but moving forward, there are a few complications. And also, Aries, I suspect that the news might not necessarily be something personal or romantic. It can be, but the tower does point to the more official stuff. So I'm wondering if you might be applying for work or following up on something in relation to your projects or something more administrative or official, or for example, legal in your life. And there is progress. The news is encouraging, but because of the clouds on the other side of the man, there could be some things that still need to be figured out. Now, the clover and tower is lovely for being in for a patch of good luck. This is great for luck over the longer term, and also it has a protective element overall. So even if there are challenges, you are protected. And you can also look forward to progress with regards to what the tower represents for you. So again, whether this is work related, or it's something official, or it's something legal, or something similar. The letter and man points to news. There's definitely contact and communication with this person. And the bear and clouds brings up some of these issues that we mentioned earlier. The bear can be a little bit competitive at times. So with the clouds, there can be this element that comes into play. You let me know how specifically it plays out for you. And the bear can also represent someone like a boss or a parent, someone who has some kind of authority in your life. And with the clouds, you could be having some concerns about how they feel or if they're really going to support you moving forward. But in all cases, Aries, it's a good idea to resolve your doubts and also to have courage. So don't be hesitant, don't be wobbly, be willing to connect with this person and take these issues in stride. It sounds like there needs to be some things that need to be ironed out or things need to be clarified, and that is totally fine. But overall, the news is encouraging. It does bring you closer to this person. There are tangible steps. Even if there are some issues to be figured out, you are still making progress this week, Aries. Now, about the context here, like I suggested, the tower points to something that's more work related, more official, more formal, and these sorts of areas. But in terms of a personal relationship, the cards are still quite supportive because there's definitely contact and communication with this person. And you could be looking at a long-term commitment, a long-term relation, or maybe it's someone you've known a long time. And despite the doubts here, I think there's plenty of combinations and cards that support the connection. So it's okay to slow down and don't be pushy in general, Aries. Just let things fall into place. And you'll find that there is at least an avenue of communication with this person. They could be wondering about how to move forward, and you too, but you're still moving forward at this point and you are in touch, and there's something that is building here. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Aries. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your line of 7. It's looking really bright and it's also very clear. We have contract cards. We have them with the book and ring. We have them with the ring and letter. And we have the fish at the top, which is the card of money and business. So this is clearly about your work and your projects. And we have the dog and bear bringing up the relationship element in addition to the ring. So it's very clear that you're in contract with someone or you're in agreement with someone and you land on a project or a job or some kind of business idea or a business venture or some other thing that affects your prosperity in general and your practical life. So these are very straightforward cards. And even though they're kind of neutral, they're kind of really bright because of the fish and the support that it gets. So the ring and book is a contract and an agreement. And with the anchor, this is great because the anchor essentially seals the deal. The anchor is a card of certainty and it has that sense of security. So it's like there is an agreement and you're on the same page with this contract and the other party. The fish, like we said, is the card of money. It's right at the top. And we have the dog and bear. So this is often a junior-senior relationship. The dog is a junior, the bear is a senior. This kind of dynamic could apply in your context, but not necessarily. It could also be a really good relationship with a boss or someone in authority, maybe the decision maker. And on the other side of the bear, we have the letter, again, emphasizing the interaction, the agreement, and the understanding. So as you can see, a very straightforward line, very clear what's going on here. There's definitely an agreement and likely a very positive one for you, Taurus. The anchor and dog is great for a relationship. This is often a combination of trust and support. So whether this is personal or professional, there's a very supportive connection here. And I do think it's more on the professional side. The book and bear can mean someone you do not know yet. And it can also point to something significant that is in the works. But in terms of teaching, learning, writing, creativity, and these sorts of areas, which are often associated with the book, the bear can mean that you're in for an important project. So either way, this is an important message here of something about to be revealed, and it does have an element of importance. So this is looking like an important project for you, Taurus. The ring and letter, like we said, is a combination of contracts, just like the ring and book. So there's a double emphasis and double message here about this agreement and this understanding that you are arriving at. So this is lovely for work. So if you're looking for work or you're looking to land a customer or work towards a project, move forward with a collaboration, you are very likely to get it this week, Taurus, and it does come with a strong financial element. The anchor and fish is great for finances, and even though they're not adjacent, the fish and bear, they're kind of close enough. These are great for wealth, actually. This is a combination of wealth. So a really nice message here. Now, in case you're not seeing work, practical matters, money, and this sorts of stuff for you, it can point to a personal relationship. And even as a personal relationship, the cards are really good at Taurus because they bring communication, agreement, and a close connection. And in terms of relationships, the fish tends to be really good physically. It tends to suggest a strong attraction and sensuality. So these are really nice cards, Taurus. I certainly hope they materialize for you in this way. I look forward to your feedback. Let me know how they played out for you if you're willing to share. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in as always. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Gemini, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Gemini, here is your line of 7. And I have to say it's kind of curious because we have the whip at the top, but then we have the man and woman on the other side of it. And we have the beautiful sun earlier here. But we do have the whip and road. So I wonder if this is going to materialize as some kind of separation. Although honestly, I'm not really seeing it because they're right next to each other. Let's back up. We have the dog, letter, and sun. This is very good news from someone, news that answers a wish. And this is a very warm combination. So the communication is positive and reassuring, and it sounds like there's a lot of good news and good things happening here. The whip is the most challenging card of the deck, and it's really strange what it's doing here at the top, but it could bring some challenges. It can also bring an element of urgency. Maybe you have the good news to move forward, you get the green light and the feedback that you're waiting for, and maybe it comes quickly, and the whip creates that element of urgency. And then we've got the road, which points to change. If it were like a challenging reading, which it isn't for the most part, then the whip and road would suggest a separation. But we're seeing the man and woman next to each other after the road. So it does point to moving forward in a relationship as opposed to separating. So I think the whip takes on an unusual meaning in this line because of the way it figures in it and because of the influence of the other cards and the structure of the line. So I think I'm going to go for the idea of urgency and the need to be fast. So you get this really good news. It's exactly what you want, and now you have to move forward. And this could stress you out a bit. You may not be ready, but you have to move forward, Gemini. And we see here the man and woman. So whatever this news is, whatever the situation with this person is, it's going to materialize quickly, and you have to take advantage of this in this week. Now, what could be happening? Well, we don't have much of an indication, but we could be pretty sure that you have some kind of collaboration, or you're getting together, or you're working together. So it really depends on the context for you. And we're not seeing context cards, like we're not seeing money cards, work cards, home, family cards, even travel cards. The road is sometimes about travel, but I think this is more about getting the green light to move ahead. Now, the sun and road is a lovely path ahead, and the letter and man is clearly contact and communication with this person, and the dog and woman points to a friendship. So all of the pairs along the side of the line are very bright. It's really the whip that is at odds with everything, and I do think that it is unusual in this reading. It takes on a slightly different meaning, really pointing to urgency. So Gemini, you're going to be busy. You have some really good news to go ahead, and it looks like things work out with this person and you're able to move forward. So these are some really bright cards, and I would say maybe you could be a little bit unprepared, and it could feel like you're a little bit all over the place. It's going to be busy, but it's also exciting. So some very good news. I certainly hope it materializes for you, Gemini. I look forward to your feedback on this one. I'm really curious about how you resonated with the whip in this line, if you're willing to share. Best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Cancer, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Cancer, here is your line of 7, and it's looking like there's a big change ahead. We have some change cards. We have the scythe right at the top, and it could be quite sharp. We do have the man and then the road and child. I feel this side could be quite challenging in terms of relationships because it can point to separation. It can also mean that this person leaves and you have to move forward in a new direction. Earlier, we have the bear, flowers, and garden. So this is great for a get-together, a party, some good times. You could also be successful. You could also get a promotion, or you could be appreciated and recognized by others. I have to wonder, Cancer, if this doesn't affect the other person and how they feel. Maybe you replace them. Maybe they decide that, because of your success or your position right now, they can no longer fit in this picture, and they move on in a new direction. That's a possible scenario. Another possibility is that you're able to make a change because of your success. So you could land a job, get another opportunity, something significant materializes for you, and that gives you, it empowers you to make changes, to let go from certain people, or to move on. You could also be the man, Cancer, but again, the same idea applies. There are changes and you move in a new direction, which is clearly represented by the road and child. But this is exciting. And I have to say, there isn't much drama around this person. So the guardian and man, for example, is a meeting with this person. It could be the meeting where you announce that you're leaving or that they're leaving and that there are changes ahead. We have the flowers and road, which is great for a reunion normally. But in this context, it's more about you realigning with your goals, or you feel like you are enthusiastic again about what's ahead. And the bear and child is an important new beginning. So this could be quite a week for you, Cancer. These are big cards. The bear and scythe are big cards. We have the road and child, which is a new chapter, a new direction. So this turning point could be quite significant. And it does involve a person. So how exactly this person figures in your life in terms of context, that's flexible. It could mean that it could be job related. Like we said, you could get an opportunity, a project, or something that empowers you to make a change and pursue something that's more aligned with your ambition. So it's like you're stepping up, you're becoming more ambitious. In terms of personal relationships, the scythe is always a bit more heavy-handed when it comes to personal relationships. But again, like I said, I'm not seeing a lot of drama. Of course, these are only 7 cards, so maybe there's more going on for you. But you're ready for the change. This is a week when you're ready for the change, and change is going to happen. I would not resist it, Cancer. I would go with this, and I would really embrace the energy of this change. It's going to happen. There's a change of direction. You have to let go of people, places, things, and even your attachments and move on. So like I said, this could be a big week. They're kind of big cards for a weekly reading, but here they are. So let me know how this plays out for you, Cancer, in what context you feel these figured for you. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and your feedback. I'd be interested to know who this person was and if this was romantic or another relationship or something else in your life, if you're willing to share. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, here is your line of 7. And again, we're seeing the man and woman. I've been seeing it a lot so far in our weekly readings. It sounds like it's going to be a social week for many of us. Now, your line is very pretty, mainly because of the flowers, and everything else is kind of peaceful and on course. We have the man and woman together here. It points to a relationship, and it sounds like there's a get-together. We have both the garden and house at the end of the line, and it sounds like you're gonna get together. Actually, we have a very clear message here. So here's what is going on. The Tower. With these 2 cards, the man and woman, it points to a long-term relationship, a relationship from the past, definitely someone you've known a while. And it's possible that maybe you were apart, or maybe time has gone by. And I say this because we have the road and flowers, and this is a reunion. This is coming back together. And then the garden and house are cards of location and meetings and get-togethers. So it's very clear what's going on here. A past relationship or someone you've known a while sort of comes back into the picture, or maybe the connection between the 2 of you is re-energized and you're going to get together. And the flowers is lovely as well, not just to reunite, but also it's a card of celebration, happiness. It's also great for flirting, attraction, and, a lot of fun. So it's definitely a good time to get together with this person. It sounds like you're going to have some good times together. You could be celebrating something, or maybe there's something romantic. Maybe it's a physical connection, but it's definitely warm and happy. So these are really nice cards. The man and flowers, again, same idea. A nice person, a lovely person. A lovely connection here. The woman and garden is the meeting with the person, and the tower and house can be a place from the past, or a location that you've known a long time. And it's really not just so much the location, but it's the energy you have with that person through that space. So think of it as space, not just in a physical sense. Clearly there's the physical sense, but also a space like the energy between you and this person. There's definitely a get together. This is going to be fun. You know, enjoy this meeting, enjoy your connection with this person, Leo. Definitely make time for them. It sounds like this week could be revolving around this person. So definitely make the time to spend it with them and, yeah, have a good time. Now, I feel it's more personal and romantic. You know, the garden with the house, the flowers, the man and woman together, lots of these warm cards. The Tower is not always warm, but in this sense, it points to this longevity, this long-term connection. So if you're not seeing a romantic thing here, it could be any other kind of connection. It could be relationships at home, family, closer friends. All of these folks are possible. It could also be something work-related. Maybe you're celebrating a connection, a customer, or your collaboration with someone. And maybe this is an opportunity to get together and be creative, you know, do some creative things together. The flowers is really good for that. Definitely there's teamwork, whether it's 2 people or more. It's likely 2 people, but you know, in terms of work, it's often maybe a bit more than 2. It's a collaboration. It's a warm connection, and it's also productive in terms of work and creativity. And in terms of personal, it's also very fulfilling. So really nice cards, clearly focusing on a relationship, Leo. Keep it light and open and have a good time. Let me know what you make of this. I certainly hope these lovely cards materialize for you. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Virgo, here is your line of 7, and it's looking really pretty. Unlike a lot of other signs this week, Virgo, you're having a quiet week, and it's a deeply fulfilling week. There's a lot of personal power, personal magnetism, and wish fulfillment for sure with the beautiful star and clover. The star, road, and moon suggests you are on a very beautiful path of success. The bear is at the top. This is a card of power. It can also be a card of promotion, especially with the moon, because the bear is often a card of seniors and bosses and people in authority. And earlier we have the star and moon. The moon can be an offer. It is sometimes a card of work. And with the bear at the top, you're on this path of success and empowerment. So very, very beautiful. Also, very nice. You could definitely be recognized for something. You could really be shining here. You know, the bear is someone who's big and influential. The moon shines and is often a card of honors and recognition. And the star is also popularity. So we're seeing all of these cards together and they're pointing in that direction. So this is great for empowerment across the board, a promotion, success, and the idea of being empowered and recognized and even influential. And then we have the beautiful clover. The clover is one of the brightest cards of the deck. It's a card of luck and good fortune, and it's lovely to see it after the bear. Here we have the fox and tree, and this is great for jobs and work. And again, the tree could have that element of growth because it is a card of, you know, that the tree is strong and it grows and it has elevation. So these are definitely good cards for doing well on the job, for being recognized, for getting a promotion, for success all around. At the same time, Virgo, there's a very quiet energy to the cards. The fox is calm and quiet. The tree is a card of solitude. The moon is that card of intuition and the insight. And the stars is also, you know, it has a spiritual aspect. So there's a lot of that depth, inner energies here at play. And it's really just the bear that would be a bit loud, if you like. But in contrast with everything else, it sounds like you've got a silent power, and you have a sense of inner pride, and you're doing really well. These are great cards, lovely. The Moon and Clover is success and beautiful luck. There's probably an opportunity here. The Road and Fox, without these bright cards, I would have taken it as a bit more neutral, but it is great for moving forward with the job and also being disciplined and carrying on. So despite your successes and the fact that you're shining, Virgo, you want to maintain like a quiet kind of facade. The Fox, as you know, is also a card of deception. It tends to represent these trickster type of people. I'm not so sure this is what's playing out here, but just in case there are some envious people around you, I really don't think they affect you. And, keep doing what you need to be doing, keep doing your job, keep doing, your normal stuff. And I really think none of that is going to be directed at you. I really don't think. The Stars and Tree is beautiful. It's another combination for growth and success. There's a lot of wisdom elements here. The star by itself, the tree by itself, together. The Fox is calm and calculated and diplomatic. The Moon is in touch with its intuition. The Clover is very, very bright and, a sense of good fortune. And there is also that element of a higher guidance. We're seeing these, beyond kind of energies with the star, the moon, the clover, the tree, and also sometimes the bear. Beautiful cards, Virgo. Lovely, lovely line. So I really hope you're headed towards some kind of leveling up, some kind of empowerment, a promotion, growth, a step up of sorts. That's all great, but also this inner dimension of that sense of fulfillment and that sense of inner pride and that sense of wisdom. There's a lot of groundedness in your cards and a sense of really knowing that you're on the right track and that you're happy with yourself. Lovely cards. And that's really in addition to the possibility of you being honored and recognized and even popular. These are lovely cards across the board. They're mainly focused on your growth, especially your inner growth and everything else on the outside that accompanies that, depending on your specifics. It's also, like I said, quieter. So again, maintain a low profile despite your success and your popularity. Let me know what you make of these ideas, Virgo. I certainly look forward to how you resonated with them. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Libra, here is your line of 7, and it's looking really bright, mainly because you wrap up the line with the lovely heart and flowers, and the flowers is a beautiful card of success and optimism. We have the clouds at the top. It's a little bit challenging, and everything else is kind of either neutral or also positive. So let's back up here. We have the Book and Tower. This is an interesting pair. It usually points to education and knowledge, higher level kind of knowledge. It points to being specialized and expert. So you could be consulting someone, or maybe you're the one who's aspiring to be more specialized and to grow in a certain field. And the ship is great for progress with your projects and things like that. The thing about the clouds is that it does muddy things and it does bring doubt and confusion. That's why I'm thinking that maybe you need to pursue someone's opinion or someone's input so that it helps you clarify things. And on top of this, we have the Birds, which is a card of conversations. So it further suggests that you can have a conversation with someone in order to clarify your doubts and questions. And what's so nice is that we have the heart and flowers afterwards. So it's very clear that you're going to find the answers that you want. You're going to get the assurance that you need. Whatever doubts are clarified, and you're like in a space of well-being and happiness. So these are really good cards, and it's very clear that the message, Libra, is that you need to vocalize your thoughts. You need to externalize your thoughts. You don't need to stay stuck and wondering, the answers are not going to pop out of nowhere. You need to seek answers and pursue the input of someone who you trust, who has the right knowledge, who has the right support. And you're going to find that there are some very positive answers and solutions here. Now, this is one way to read the line. We can read the line in quite a few other ways, actually. The main one is that you are pursuing your goals and objectives, and you definitely want to do that. And you want to go for, if I dare say, your bigger goals. You know, you need to pursue your bigger goals. So do the research, do what you need to do in order to put yourself on this track. And you're going to find that you don't have all the answers, and that's fine. Again, you vocalize, you ask questions, and you're going to feel encouraged and enthusiastic about pursuing. So really nice cards. Don't let the clouds get in your way. Really, the focus is to get out of this state. Seek answers, find solutions, externalize it. You know, don't stay stuck in your mind. The ship and bird is great for progress. It's also good for news and feedback. And I have to also say, Libra, that these are good cards for travel, if even a shorter kind of trip. So it sounds like you're going to be busy pursuing things and also getting answers, asking questions, and, you know, following up to clarify whatever is on your mind. The Tower and Heart is great for a long-term sense of happiness. So again, we're seeing your long-term goals, and that's why, or one of the reasons why I felt that you want to align with your long-term goals. Libra, at this point, you need to follow your heart. You need to do what makes you happy. The Book and Flowers is great for creativity, for positive answers, and also a sense of optimism. And the book is sometimes a closed element where things are not known, but certainly the flowers brings things out. So again, we're seeing this idea of opening up to answers, opening up to creativity and to possibilities. And this is really great, Libra, to get you out of your comfort zone, to help you get out of your current scope in order to expand and grow. So lovely cards. Now, I have to say that they can apply in different contexts. Maybe it's about your work. Maybe it's about a personal project. Maybe it's about your life in general, or some ambition that you've been putting on the back burner that you now want to move forward with. And if it comes to people, people is also, the cards also do well with people. So you could have had someone on your mind. Maybe you didn't hear from them for some time, but with the bird, heart, and flowers, there's definitely a reunion and, you know, hearts coming together and a positive conversation and interaction. So really nice cards, Libra, exciting and really good for progress. They're great for aligning with your higher goals, for feeling good, for doing things that make you feel good, and also for connecting with people who support you and who have insights. Really nice cards across many different contexts. Let me know what you make of them, Libra. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Scorpio, here is your line of 7, and we're seeing the woman. I've been seeing a lot, the woman and man. This week, a lot of us have relationship focuses, but for your part, Scorpio, there's more going on. There is a major change and a major ending. Hard not to see this. We have the scythe, the coffin at the end of the line, and with the anchor, the ship at the top, which comes after the scythe, and this points to a change of direction. So let's see what's going on here. Now, the clover and scythe is actually really beautiful. It points to a lucky break, and it can mean a breakthrough. So you could get an opportunity to make a change. The woman can represent just about anyone, including yourself, but she could be someone who offers you this opportunity. Or she could be someone with whom you've been pursuing a journey. We have the ship, bear, and anchor, and this points to a landing. So you see the order of the cards here matters. It often does with the ship and anchor. The ship is about travel and a journey, and the bear and anchor points to a very solid conclusion. The bear and anchor share quite a lot of things together, a lot of elements together. They're both very strong and solid, and certainly with the anchor, especially after the ship, it points to a very solid conclusion. On top of this, Scorpio, we have the coffin at the end of the line, and this is definitely a conclusion, an ending, closure, completing something, wrapping something up. And that's why I said earlier, when it comes to the woman, it sounds like you were pursuing this journey or some kind of project with her, and now you're bringing it to a head and to a conclusion. And tying these ideas with the clover and scythe earlier tells me, Scorpio, that you need to really put your mind to completing this. So be sharp about bringing this to a head. No more wasting time. No more stretching it out. It's really time to take a sword at it, if you will, and bring it to a conclusion. Now, the coffin is not always negative, right? It's not because something is ending that it's a bad thing. It could be a really good thing. Maybe now you have an opportunity to wrap up a project, to complete your work for someone, or to complete a journey with someone. And this is very much part of the breakthrough. Maybe there's something else that's waiting for you at this point. You definitely want to get to work on this and not waste any more time, and to bring it to a completion. Now, what it is you're completing, I'm not really seeing this in the cards. Scorpio, this is flexible. It depends on your situation. And even though we have the woman, I'm not really seeing romantic, warm cards. So I'm not sure who she could be in your specific situation, but she could apply in different contexts. The cards can figure in different contexts. At the same time, endings in relationships, Scorpio, tend to be a bit heavier. So if this is about a breakup or a separation, they tend to be a bit difficult. But maybe they're not so difficult for you. You let me know, because the cards are generally neutral and they have a very strong dynamic that is expressed here. So you let me know in what context the cards figured for you. Now, the Woman and Bear is about someone strong and important. The Scythe and Anchor is definitely about moving past anything that is holding you back. This is about releasing the shackles in a very literal way. And the Clover and Coffin is a very happy ending. So like we said, coffin ending is not always negative. It doesn't have to be at all. This is definitely an opportunity to get something out of your way, to complete something, get it done, and move on. So it could be quite a significant week. And I think also, Scorpio, that your energy has a lot to do with this. So you have to really be decisive, and you want to be really committed to bringing this to completion. And I think you're going to find the energy and momentum through the Clover and Scythe. So let me know what you make of this powerful line. I certainly hope it resonates with you in a positive way, and that you feel inspired to complete whatever is still on your plate. And if this is something more personal, I certainly care to hear your feedback and, what exactly played out for you. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your line of 7, and it's really lovely. The progression of the cards is very helpful. We have some initial concerns, but they are all very clearly resolved. So backing up here, we kick off the line with the beautiful Clover. The Clover is one of the luckiest cards of the deck. Now, it is followed by the Snake with the Garden and Clouds. And without anything else, Sagittarius, this would have been a pretty warning triplet. The Snake with the Garden is often someone who is hiding behind the scenes or getting ready to challenge you or to compromise you. And the Clouds adds to this because it creates a sense of tension and confusion. So things are cloudy and clouded, and it's not clear what's going on. But the thing about the Clover at the beginning and then followed by the beautiful Sun, it tells us that instead of being so negative, you want to be patient, and you will see that things are going to clarify. So instead, what this triplet is telling us is that don't jump to conclusion, and don't jump the gun, and don't assume that things have fallen through, or that they can't be helped, or that people are totally negative or have bad intentions, because just a bit of time and you will see that things work out. And then we have the beautiful Ship and Dog, which is lovely for going places with someone, with a friend or a colleague or whoever it is, going places with them, pursuing projects with them, moving ahead with whatever it is you have going with them. So it's very nice how the clover and especially the sun help resolve the doubts, the tension, or the issues that we see earlier, and things actually move forward in a very beautiful direction. Now, something else that comes through here, Sagittarius, is that the snake, with the garden and, this whole context here, it can suggest that you need to negotiate your way. And maybe you're trying to get something, maybe you're trying to get a deal, or, you're after something. And the snake is really good at being discreet and a charmer type. So with a bit of tact and, turning on your charm and being, like focusing on the negotiation and on the advantages and packaging it all nicely, you could actually dispel any doubts in the other party and come out with what you are after. So these are really nice cards any way you look at them. There's just a bit of a sensitive kind of transition or step in order to come out with this lovely outcome here. Now, the garden and sun is beautiful all around. This is great for success, popularity, achievement, and also fun. It's great for being social and for being in a team environment. The snake and ship is about the indirect path. So very much like what we saw going on with the garden. So prepare for maybe an indirect route before you can achieve your goals. The clover and dog is lovely for friendships and friends and support from others. You could be surprised, Sagittarius, at how helpful someone turns out to be. And it's very clear that there's a turnaround to these energies. These are quite negative really on their own, but there's a turnaround. There's like a very beautiful clarifying energy. So it sounds like whatever doubts or tension or negativity is dispelled, and you're on a really positive path with this person on this project or whoever are the people you are dealing with. Another thing is about the context. I'm not so sure in what context this figures. It's quite flexible. It could be personal with friends, family, closer people. It could be professional with colleagues, customers, and such people. And it could be in any other context. These are the two main contexts that we go through in our day-to-day. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Sagittarius. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Capricorn, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Capricorn, here is your line of 7. And it does stand out against all of the other signs I've read so far. And this is a very clear ending. Like, it doesn't get clearer. It's not easy, Capricorn. This is a tough transition. And similar to a few other signs, this week could be a big week for some of us. And I think you're one of them. We have the cross. The cross is about destiny questions, bigger things, deeper matters, deeper decisions. And we have the coffin and child, the precise combination for an ending and a new beginning. And it comes with a book, which points to a chapter or possibly a life chapter. And we do have a couple of challenging cards. The cross itself can be challenging, but also the clouds and mouse. And we do wrap up the line with the mouse. So it's like this ending and this beginning is not easy, Capricorn. So this transition, a bit of a tough one. At the same time, these are not very dramatic cards, Capricorn. The clouds and mouse, they're not very tough. It's not like a whip, a scythe, and, the combination of these. So backing up here, we have the cross with the clouds. You could definitely be pondering this decision. It could be weighing on you. It could be confusing you, and it could be causing this inner conflict or this inner tension. Now, the bird and book, this is curious because We have the bird on the other side of the clouds, and normally, Capricorn, I would have suggested that this has to do with vocalizing your thoughts, talking them out. But the book is often closed. Now, it's not closed in this deck, but it depends on the combination. The book is often a card of mysteries and things that are not known. So we have the vocal card between two inner cards. So I'm not sure how much you are going to vocalize your thoughts, Capricorn, or how much you ought to, but let's just say strike a balance and seek some questions, seek some answers, maybe research, without being too talkative. But you need some answers. And also you need to make a decision. So in all probability, you need answers in order to inform your decision. And then we have the coffin with the book, which is the end of a chapter in the most literal way. And then we have the child, which is a card of beginnings, comes right after the coffin. So ending, beginning. So a very clear confirmation of this closure. And then we have the mouse. The mouse is a bit challenging. It points to nuisances, annoyances, bumps, and it's a little bit negative. It can cause a bit of pessimism and things like that. So you are closing off a chapter, Capricorn. This is so clear. It's not easy. It's weighing on you, but I think because of how clear your cards are, the advice is definitely that you need to reach a decision about this and let go and move on. And I think as you move on and turn the page and move into this new chapter, you'll still feel like the previous one is still hanging because of the mouse. So it's not like a cut off with the scythe. There's still a bit of a tying energy here. But that's okay. It's probably going to taper off with time. But there's a clear message of an ending. Now, where, in what context? I'm not so sure, Capricorn. It depends. One thing is that we're not seeing people cards, so I'm not sure if this affects another person. We're also not seeing other theme cards, to be fair. We're not seeing work cards, money cards, all of these theme cards, they're not coming up. So it seems to affect either a specific area, depending on your specific situation, or it affects your life as a whole. My feeling is that it affects your life in a general way because of the cross. So a bit of a transition this week, Capricorn, potentially a big one. I certainly look forward to your feedback about this if you're willing to share what was ending, what's going on. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Best of luck with this, Capricorn. Thank you for tuning in as always. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aquarius, this is lovely for money and work and business. It sounds like you land a contract or you land a collaboration or some kind of, even a job. It sounds like it's quite good financially. We do have the Snake and Tower at the end. This can point to a couple of things, but in general, these are some really nice cards. So the Key and Ring, this is a very successful relationship. It's also really good for living up to expectations, fulfilling your responsibilities, and also having good connections. The Ring and House is often close relationships. It could even be family relationships, relationships with colleagues, and it could also mean that you are going to engage in a certain space with some people. Now, the Bear and Fish is a combination of wealth. This is a really good message for money. So my feeling is that you land a project or a job or a deal that comes with good money. Now, the Snake and Tower is curious. It can mean a few things. The snake, actually, both the Snake and Tower are pretty silent, especially the Snake. So you could maybe keep some things to yourself, or you're keeping this opportunity to yourself right now. You're not really telling others about it. And the snake is also a card of moving away. So, it sort of turns away. And the Tower can be a card of the past, or perhaps it represents something like a work environment, a business environment, or something official usually. And so with the snake here, you could be keeping this away from certain people. You could be moving away from a certain connection that you had. Something that comes to mind, I don't know if it's a bit of a long shot or it's a bit too daring to suggest, but you might want to keep it under the radar of the authorities. Maybe you're doing something maybe like a second job, or you're taking a side gig and you're not supposed to, or you're concerned that there's a conflict of interest, or something like that. And there's lots of possibilities in this gray area, but that could also be going on. But in all cases, Aquarius, the snake and Tower can certainly call for discretion. And what also comes to mind is that if you have doubts about the agreement, you definitely want to check, but you check discreetly. So maybe you sort of take the contract away or the agreement away, you show it to your lawyer or, someone you trust, and just to double check, for yourself. So you might do that as well. So there's quite a few ways we can read the snake and Tower. But in general, you're in for a really good project. It sounds to have a lot of money, or a good money at least. And, that could be part of the reason maybe you're having doubts. So you want to make sure that it's not too good to be true, or, it's transparent and things like that. So definitely sense check your doubts with the right people. Now, the house and fish is great for a home-based business or a business or work in general. So I feel this is really the area in focus for you this week. The ring and snake is tricky with people. This is often a combination of cheating. The snake is a third party and a love triangle. Now, again, I'm not really inclined to think that this is a love reading. We'll leave that to the end. But it certainly calls for discretion. And also, Aquarius, I think you should keep in mind that there could be some people who are playing against you. So maybe that's all the more reason why you want to check everything. The key and Tower, though, is great for a long-term project. And it is great for opening up opportunities over the long term. You could also be improving your situation overall. Certainly, with the bear and fish being about wealth, you could be improving your position and your long-term prospects. It's also true with the key and ring and house. So these are some really nice cards. They bring success and opportunity. You just want to double check things and also be discreet around certain people and be aware that not everyone is transparent or even nice. But otherwise, it looks like you're in for opportunity. Now, I did suggest that this is mainly about work, money, and business. In case this is about a personal relationship, I have to really question, Aquarius, if this isn't like a friends with benefits situation because of the fish and snake. And I have to wonder if maybe you're part of a love triangle. Now, which side of the triangle you are, I don't know. I think all of the possibilities can come through from these cards, but you let me know if this is figuring for you. Now, if it is, I'm not seeing negative cards, to be honest. So I'm not sure how much of a toxic energy the snake is bringing here, even in the context of a relationship, because the rest of the cards, they're kind of nice. They're kind of nice cards. And the physical connection could be quite fulfilling here. So I'm not sure if this is necessarily a third party, or it could be referring to, the more fiery bits of a relationship. So a few possibilities here, but I think you're on the right track, Aquarius. Again, some discretion is needed. Checking things behind the scenes, and being calm and calculated and strategic overall is called for regardless of the context. Let me know what you make of this, Aquarius. I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your line of 7 and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Pisces, here is your line of 7. And like a lot of signs this week, this is really strange. A lot of man and woman cards showing up in the signs this week, and we're seeing them here. Now, obviously for you, it's a standout. There's a scythe between them. It can point to a breakup, but honestly, Pisces, I'm not so sure this is what's coming through, because we have the letter and rider, which is definitely about news. And so it can mean that there's a breakthrough, or there's sudden news, and there's like a quick-paced action here. It can be a separation, but it can also point to a breakthrough. Earlier, we have the clouds and clover, and this is always a good reminder for avoiding negative thoughts, because the clover being a very lucky card, you are typically unwarranted when these two show up together to indulge in any negative thinking. There's no need for negative thinking. Things are working out. It's just that where you are right now, they don't seem this way, but soon they will. And then we have the woman and man. So this represents a relationship regardless of who these two people are. We see the scythe between them. This could be a break off. I can't dismiss that. And with the letter and rider, maybe you announce the separation, or both of you, or someone does. And there's like a release. And what's interesting is that we're not seeing negative cards. What we're seeing is the clouds earlier. And when I see it this way, when we see the news cards after the clouds, it's very clear, Pisces, that you need to get out of your mind. And certainly the scythe helps with that. So again, there's an energy of breakthrough, breaking out the silence, breaking past obstacles, things that were on hold materialize and move forward. There's like a push forward. There's this momentum that comes with these cards. And the letter and rider is definitely about news, feedback, and also the rider is good with progress because it's a movement card. So this is probably a green light, or at least some input to help you move forward. Now, the man and woman is a relationship, very clear. And the clover and letter is some very good news, some very lucky news, hopefully news that answers your hopes, Pisces. And the clouds and rider is a little bit muddied with the clouds, but the thing about the rider being on the other side of the clouds is that you're able to move past the doubts and this situation where things aren't clear. So now there is clarity. Actually, there's definitely clarity. The scythe, letter, and rider, and clover after the clouds, I think clarity is a very key word for your message this week. So there is clarity, there's a breakthrough, you're able to get out of this space where you're not sure what's happening, there's feedback, and you get the green light and probably also the go-ahead. So this is really exciting, Pisces. Expect to break out of this space of, where things aren't clear. There's also really good communication, really good collaboration, a supportive relationship. Now, in case this is a break-off, like we mentioned briefly earlier, well, I really think that it could be relieving. So it could be a good time for you, Pisces, to get out of an arrangement, to get out of a relationship, to make a change, or at least take a break. So very relieving cards. The line is also a little bit fast-paced with the scythe and rider, unlike the clouds. But again, once you break past this confused state or this situation where things aren't clear, there's like a lot of momentum, like we said. So really nice cards. And one more thing to add is the context. It could be personal, it could be work related, it could be really any situation. We're not seeing theme cards. Yes, we have relationship cards with the man and woman, but we have relationships in every context. We have them at home, at work, in our friends, at the gym, anywhere. So the context is flexible. It's really flexible from these cards. You let me know, Pisces, in what context they figured for you. I certainly hope you get the breakthrough that you're waiting for, and I certainly hope that the feedback is positive. Let me know how it goes. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in as always. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.